Hey guys, we are doing another Facebook Live, and it's probably going to be pretty quick because we have a sleeping baby and she's inside the house. We have construction going on underneath of our house. We're doing some things to the basement, so I can't film this inside or else all you would hear are hammers and nail guns. So we're outside on the front porch, and I have something really important that I wanted to share today, and it's really interesting because I feel like I'm just sharing whatever is going on in my life, and recently I've been dealing with kind of some ramifications of my old life, the old version of Katelyn, where I used to just work all the time. And I think for me, I didn't really realize that anything bad was happening until I was years down the road. And so I know that there are a lot of, especially young women out there that maybe follow us in our journey that are just getting started in their careers as photographers, or maybe you're in the creative world, I don't know, but some of you follow us. And I just hope that my story, what I'm going to share with you really quickly today, is going to protect some of your necks, literally. I think, the phrase like save your neck, I really feel, is that a phrase?
Yeah.
It's a phrase, okay. I think that in reality, like, there's a lot that has happened to my body over the years. I was working super hard from the age of 20 all the way to age 29. I know I'm going to be 30 this year. So I think that I realized a couple years back that something wasn't right, but I didn't do anything about it. And so let me just quickly tell you the story. We were out on the boat with my family it was years ago, maybe for 4th of July, and we hit a big wake and we landed really hard. And when we landed hard, my neck hurt and it just didn't stop hurting. And so I went to the chiropractor when I got back home because I was in a lot of pain, thinking like he's just going to adjust me because I've been to a chiropractor my entire life. So it's not like I've neglected my back, like I've neglected not being healthy, or like I've been adjusted and had correct spinal positioning my whole life. So I know that it's not just because I didn't take care of myself, it's because well, it is because I didn't take care of myself, but it's not because I wasn't proactive with like spinal care. The chiropractor was amazing. He fixed me, but then he said, you know what, Katelyn, I think you need to have an x-ray. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's just trying to steal my money. So I got an x-ray done, and he called me back in for a follow-up appointment, and he put the x-ray up on the x-ray machine, and he said, do you see what's wrong? And I was like, no, it looks fine. And then he started to point out what a normal neck should look like. So he showed me my x-ray, and then he showed me a normal neck x-ray, and there was something very obviously wrong with my neck. So I have what you called a reversed neck curve. So the natural human neck curve is supposed to curve certain degrees in one angle, and mine does the exact opposite. And it's not because I was born that way, and it's not because that's just some weird genetic makeup. I have done that to myself. And the way that I've done that to myself is that in college, I started working in a computer, and I wouldn't sit up straight. I would kind of do this. And then I started working in the car all the time, or on the couch all the time, or on my laptop. And then you add in when iPhones came into the picture, and you do this on your iPhone. It's like the idea that you have forward neck position, and that happens a lot to people who spend the majority of their career on devices. And so what happened is that not only was I spending almost all my time on devices and have a forward neck position, I also was shooting that way, and I still shoot that way. I have a hard time shooting straight up. I normally bend forward, and my neck curves forward with the weight of my camera. So after almost 10 years of that, I have literally changed the positioning of my neck. So not good, really not good. So what brought me to a place where I actually made changes? Well, I had a baby, and I started having constant like pain in my shoulders, like just tension in my shoulders, which I've always had, but it got really unbearable like a couple months ago. And so I thought, well, it's probably from like nursing and holding, she's 18 pounds, Evie's 18 pounds, so holding an 18-pound baby, that's probably why my neck hurts. But then I went to a doctor, redid, or actually we didn't even redo x-rays. He looked at x-rays from 2015, and he was like, so it's just your condition that you had then has just gotten worse, and it's irritated, and now you're starting to see physical outward signs that something's wrong with, like you can see almost like a knot on the back of my neck from where my spine has been trained to kind of work in a state of emergency. So my spine is trying to recompensate for the fact that my head has been pulled forward for way too long. So for example, I've done all this research online. It's like, you can hold a bowling ball out like this for a while, but then your body starts to fatigue and it gets hard to handle. But if you hold a bowling ball close to your body, you can hold it a lot longer. So what I've been doing is I've been treating my head like a bowling ball that's been held out like this, and my back is now starting to show signs of like wear and tear, and I'm starting to have constant pain because of it. So is it correctable? Yes, but more than that, it's preventable for a lot of you out there. If you don't have any neck pain, you don't have any problems, you work at a computer all the time, praise the Lord, that's great that you don't have any issues. I just hope that for some of you that are maybe going down the path that I was on, maybe you could make some simple corrections now to save your neck in the long run, because worst case scenario, I could be having neck surgery by the time I'm 40 if I don't correct things when I'm almost 30. He told me when I was like 26, 27, like, hey, you should probably change something, and I didn't do it. So now I'm a couple years later and I'm finally having to make some significant changes, and I think this affects more people than you probably realize. My chiropractor said to me, Katelyn, do you have a lot of headaches? And I was like, no. He goes, that's actually very surprising, given the state that your shoulders and your neck is in. So if you are an entrepreneur that spends a lot of time on your computer, if you're a photographer that shoots with your neck forward and a lot of pressure on the back of your neck, if you slouch when you're on your laptop or let your head lean forward when you're at your desktop, you might be a candidate for, learning a little bit more about correct head posture. So I'm no chiropractor, I'm no doctor. I'm just sharing you I'm just sharing what's going on in my life, so hopefully it'll help you. There's a few things that I have learned in the last couple weeks. Michael's kind of helped me with this, to try to correct what's happening. So the first thing that I have learned is that when I'm traveling or if I'm working on my laptop in the living room or like sitting area, if I'm not sitting at a desk and I'm like sitting on a couch, I have to bring my computer screen up, because if I don't, I end up laying back and then my head comes forward, and that's going to just irritate and make my neck even worse. So I have a lap desk that has a little bit of padding underneath that raises the elevation of my laptop up, and sometimes I'll even put a pillow or two underneath so that it raises up. When I'm sitting at my desk, that's the second thing, when I'm sitting at my desk, we have almost like a presenter stand that my laptop is on, and then we have a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse that connects to my computer. As soon as I bring my laptop in the room, it's connected. And so I don't have my laptop up in the air and my arms are like this, because then if you have to hold your arms up like this, then your shoulders start to hurt. So my laptop screen is elevated, and then my arms get to rest on the desk. So another thing that we've recognized is that I needed more to train my neck to go back into its proper position, and so the chiropractor gave me this. This is kind of weird, but this is a restructuring neck pillow. Literally, I just lay on this on the floor for close to 20 minutes a day. If I can get longer than that, it's even better than what he's asking me to do. But this neck pillow, basically when I lay on the floor, it takes my neck and it puts it in the correct neck posture. And so if I was to take an x-ray while I'm laying on this, my neck would look like the correct structure, the correct flow of a neck. So this is helping my neck relearn how to curve in the right direction instead of backwards. So all that to say, is it reversible? I sure hope so, because it's my current reality. It's what I'm dealing with. The doctor said I could probably see visible signs, like I could get rid of the knot in the back of my neck probably within a year if I start making changes to my everyday life. So he explained it as, you've been doing things wrong for 10 years, and so you're going to have to expect that it's going to take a long time to change it back. And so I am glad that I'm doing this before any of my vertebrae have fused together. That's something that can happen before arthritis sets in. So as a 29-year-old photographer who's been working in this field for almost a decade, I just want to encourage any of you out there to protect your body. I don't think it's just caused from being a workaholic. I think the way that I was working wasn't healthy, but I also think that I'm really kind of reaping the repercussions of just not knowing when to stop, to work through all hours of the night, to work even on the weekends when I could have taken a break. So I'm not saying not to work. I'm not saying that if you're wrong if you're staying up till 2 a.m. because I still do that sometimes. Just saying to be cautious and to be aware of what you're doing with your life and with your time. For me, I physically am seeing the results of not knowing how to balance my schedule. And I don't want that for anybody else. I want people to be able to run businesses and thrive, and I think you can do that without messing your neck up, without pulling all-nighters, without staying up and editing. So, in some ways, I think that what I've learned from the chiropractor goes hand in hand with what I've learned in business over the last several years about outsourcing and about limiting the amount of hours you're behind your screen, about creating systems in your business so you don't have to do all the work yourself. There's so much that I could go into, but I just wanted to leave you with these little bits of nuggets of information. Some of you actually messaged me on Instagram and you were saying things like, oh my gosh, Katelyn, I know that I am not taking care of my neck. I know that I'm leaning forward, I'm slouching forward, I'm starting to have neck pain, headaches, shoulder tightness, and I need to make a change. I need to make some significant alterations in the way that I'm working. So maybe this is helpful. The lap desk is helpful. The raised elevation of a laptop is helpful. Some people, one of my good friends actually was messaging me and she's like, I even thought about, throwing $2,000 at an iMac just to have a big screen to keep my head up, but this option that we're using would save you thousands of dollars. You can simply buy an elevated stand and that would maybe be the best change that you could make for your body this week. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. It's very, very random, but we had so many messages about it that I thought I'd share what my journey has been. So I have not had neck pain in the last 2 weeks. I've been going to the chiropractor 2 to 3 times a week as we get my body back in sync to where it should be as far as the alignment of my spine. I'm going to go probably to like twice a month going to the chiropractor within the next month, and I'm doing my neck pillow at night. I'm adjusting the way that I'm holding my neck in everyday life, but more than anything, I'm paying attention to the way that I sit at my computer. And so I want to be able to be a photographer for a long time. I want to be able to shoot and enjoy kids and maybe have other children. I don't know. I want to be able to live a life where I'm healthy and I don't feel crippled by things that I was hurting in my body years prior before they ever really started to make their appearance. I think that there's so much to be said for paying attention to little things happening to your body now so that you can prevent a lot of long-term pain. So I'm glad you tuned in. I actually, I had pictures of not just, this is the only thing I can show you right here, but I took pictures inside my office of our new setup, and I'm going to blog it so you can actually see images and see exactly what our new setup looks like that's going to correct my neck problems. So I hope this is helpful. I think we hear a baby crying inside. She was waking up. So we're gonna get off of here. But if you have questions or if you are wondering, like, Katelyn, do you really know enough about the neck to be doing medical Facebook Lives? I don't. I can't say anything about what's right or wrong medically. I can only tell you from my experience that I highly recommend going to a chiropractor if you are struggling with some of the things that I've been struggling with as far as neck pain and reverse spinal curvature and stuff like that. So I am glad you tuned in. Thanks for being here. And if you know anyone or have talked to anyone who's struggling with this stuff, just go ahead and share it and let people know. There are solutions. You just have to make changes immediately. So thanks for tuning in, guys. And next time, we probably won't be on my front porch, but next time we have a whole list of things that I want to share with you on Facebook Live, and we are getting close to having the audio of this on a podcast so that you can listen to it whenever you're in the car and not just when you're live at your computer. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.